Department attorney testified in the trial of former Fugees member Pras Michelle. George Higginbotham told the jury he worked on behalf of Michelle as part of an illegal campaign to convince the Trump administration to return a Chinese dissident to Beijing. Joining us now.
Looked into and did a background check on Jolo, the Malaysian white-collar criminal behind all of this, behind these two corruption and money laundering schemes. And Leonardo explained that he got a green light to work with Jolo, who ended up financing the Wolf of Wall Street, as perhaps some of your viewers know.
So there's other big names involved, right? Former President Barack Obama, Kim Kardashian. Tell us about how they are involved in this.
Yes, well, it's a sprawling story because it's a sprawling Justice Department investigation that went on over 11 years, looking at two different political finance conspiracies, really, that all trace back. Dirty money from Malaysia was funneled into the Obama campaign. And then the second chapter being 2017 and how that same Malaysian financier, Jolo, tried to use his cash to buy influence with the Trump administration. I sat down with him for about 4 hours in New York City in his Soho loft, and you know, he tried to smile and laugh and tell me a lot of stories of the good old days and the Fugees, but he also told me that he got personal, and he said this whole thing has really swallowed his life. He said he feels like he's living in quicksand. This is every day. It's grueling. I've been in the courtroom every day and seeing, it's an early start. You're sitting there all day listening to a lot of testimony, and he really said he feels like he's sinking in quicksand here. And I'm looking forward to it being concluded.
What other testimony do you think we're going to hear, and do you think Michelle could take the stand?
So whether Pras Michelle takes the stand is definitely kind of a major question hanging over the entire proceedings. They have not told me for sure one way or the other. I think it remains to be seen, so stay tuned for that. I think if he does take the stand, it would certainly be pretty explosive and kind of an interesting appeal to the jury after they have sat for weeks listening to all of his alleged misdeeds. But there are a lot of other big names who are going to be coming up whether or not he testifies. That includes former Attorney General.
Yo, it's Big Ant, the spokesman, man. We back. Another edition of Urban Politicians TV, UPTV. Make sure you stay on your pivot at all times, man. Had to come tap in on Pras, the ghetto superstar from the legendary hip-hop group, the Fugees, facing some serious charges. And on Monday, the jury is going to decide if they feel that he is guilty or not of conspiracy charges, tampering with witnesses, and also failure to identify and document himself with the government as a Chinese agent and everything. And I'm going to have links in the description from CBS where you can see that clip in full length. And I'm going to get into the piece of the write-up from CBS and also CNN. But what Pras did now is got himself and started doing business with somebody named Jolo from Malaysia, who is an international fugitive, and taking money from him. And the discussion now isn't did he take the money. He's saying he didn't know that it was illegal what he was doing and didn't know that these things were against the law. So the jury is going to decide ultimately on that in the end. But the guy that he was dealing with, Jolo, was paying him money for relationships to get next to people and everything like that. $20 million for Obama photo. And then other money that he was taking, Pras was taking it, distributing it to his people, tried to do things with Trump, but that didn't work out, didn't go through with it. But they also saying Jolo been on this type of time where they saying he done got positions over there in the financial part of Malaysia and everything, and just basically put the money in his own pocket. Over billions of dollars and things like that, to my understanding. Actually paying Paris Hilton $250,000 to pull up and party with him. Leonardo DiCaprio, that's why y'all see him now, stood behind him, funded him on different things, $150,000 on trips and all that type of stuff going like that. But the write-up is saying this right here about Pras. The case against former Fugees rapper Pras Michelle, accused of playing a central role in a geopolitical conspiracy spanning 2 U.S. presidencies, will be in the hands of the jury Monday morning. And prosecutors' closing arguments, which concluded late Thursday afternoon, They laid out their case of how Michelle allegedly took more than $100 million from Malaysian billionaire Joe Low to gain political influence for Low in the Obama and Trump administrations. Defense attorneys argued Michelle was simply helping people make connections and never willingly or deliberately broke the law. But taking the stand on Tuesday, Michelle said he viewed Low's payments to him as free money and accepted approximately $20 million over the course of 9 months to help Low secure a photo op with Obama, both before and after the 2012 presidential campaign. Michelle's testimony on Tuesday also touched on his alleged efforts to push Trump administration officials to drop their investigations into Low and extradite a Chinese national living in the U.S. to China to face criminal charges. Under cross-examination, Michelle said, "I took it upon myself to go to the FBI about the descendant Miles Gu to work to connect interested parties with U.S. government. Gu, a Stephen Bannon associate, has since been indicted on fraud charges of his own." Basically, he went and worked with the FBI directly on his own. They actually were reaching out to people that he was paying under him after he was getting the money from Joe Low and everything like that. So he just tampering with witness, doing it all according to them. He said he didn't know what he was doing, didn't know that he was breaking the law. That's for the jury to decide in this case, but you done got your hand in there. They saying in the courtroom directly, he was greedy, wanted to get rich, all about making money. And from what they saying, he was able to touch a lot of it. And the other guy, they already put it out there, he an international fugitive for embezzlement and everything. And this is crazy to see this go down like this. This case actually went up, I was off the radar with it, wasn't even connected. I just seen it hit the headlines the other night, and I was like, I gotta tap in on this one for sure. The Ghetto Superstar, man, go look at that video now with him, Maya, and ODB, rest in peace, ODB. Listen to what he's saying, and it's like, bro, you really was pushing this presidential stuff and was making money off of it, but you know, we'll see. And he's actually 50 years old. So in his case, he knows better than to be breaking the law and anything. He's saying he didn't know, he wasn't aware of everything. But I tell you this, for people who think about making these type of moves, the greed always takes over in the long run. You get stuck to that lifestyle and you don't want to come down from that high of making that quick, easy bag. Whether you decide to do things legally or not, you looking for loopholes, playing with that government and stuff, I wouldn't do it if I was y'all. But to each his own, we shall see. Innocent until proven guilty. We got more coming, more videos, all that. 1000 for shit show. Stay on your pivot.